I've got 3 Hermès scarves that are dirty. This is just general neck grime, which will be oiliness and makeup and things like that. It won't come out with dry cleaning. We've tried that before. So I am going to wash it. I'm going to show you what I do to wash them. I like to check them before I start to see what I'm aiming for. See, there's some makeup there and there is some makeup there. And you see it's been folded and against somebody's neck. Been folded and sitting on a shelf. They're dusty. You see down there. Try and get those out. Sometimes it'll take more than one wash to get them clean. Now I know this has got marks on the borders and other marks too. I mean, can you see them? It's dirty there. I'll be able to get that clean, I think. It's these marks that are slightly bothering me because it looks to me like somebody has ironed the marks in, which is a definite no-no. If you get a mark on anything, don't secure it by cooking it into the clothes. Right, let's get going and see what we can do with them. Right, I'm just getting the water to a tepid temperature. I've got some liquid detergent in the water. I have only very occasionally had an incident. I now washed a lot of Hermès scarves in my time, and there is one particular design that I know isn't colour fast. So I would avoid buying them because of that unless they were in pristine condition, because I've had an incident twice with the same scarf. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't learn first time round. Right, here we go. I grab the bits that I see immediately. Those are the bits on the navy. Dip them into the water. Then a squirt. I water down the washing up liquid. It makes it just easier to handle. When I've done this before on film, people go wild that I'm actually rubbing them. I'm being extremely gentle, just very gently getting the fairy liquid into the scarf. And I'm going to revisit the areas that had, remember it was near the top. These are the ones I'm worried about. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to shift these because they looked ironed in. Whereas the ones on the edge of the scarf, I had been ironed, but they looked like fairly superficial stains, like you could almost scrape them off with a finger. It's actually faded a bit, so maybe if I just keep going for a bit longer, I might be able to get it to the point where some stains look worse than they're wet. Actually, I think it is lifting a bit. I don't want to do too much because I definitely don't want to cause any damage to the scarf. There was another one a bit further down. Generally, scarf stains are either food-based or makeup-based, or just, sorry to have to say it, just grime from people's bodies. Neck grime. It's not nice, I know, but it is. We're in the business of selling second-hand clothes, so we're up close and personal with dirty things, I'm afraid. I think this might be lifting, so that's making my heart sing. And I just give it a general swish round. You know, this hasn't been worn much, this scarf. I can feel the crispness in the silk still, and I just want to be able to retain that as much as possible. Just gently squeezing it out, not wringing it out, and then I'm going to come back and rinse it in a minute when I've done the other 2 scarves. Right, back to this one. Up there, makeup there. It's actually generally quite grimy, so I'm going to have to do quite a big area of the washing liquid. This might be the one that I have to do more than once. Again, I'm not being rough. Just making sure all the washing up liquid gets dispersed into the scarf. Sometimes I can open it out and just see how we're going along that crease mark. I think we're getting somewhere. I'm very confident about getting makeup out of scarves. I'm going to put some neat on. Everybody will be throwing their hands up in horror as I do that. But the thing is, they are of very little value to people if they're dirty. Who wants to either wear or buy, part with their hard-earned cash for a dirty scarf? Not me. Right, I'm going to leave that one at that for the moment because I don't like to have them sitting around too long. And this is definitely going to be a more than once go because it just really is dirty. I can feel the dirt on it. It feels oily on the scarf. I'm going for the neat washing up liquid again. You can see the actual colour of the foam is dirty. I'm going to try and get the whole jolly lot covered in There's too many marks on it to try and individually treat them. Going wild with the Fairy Max Power.
What's the equivalent of fairy in the US?
I don't know, but
Is
just
it Dawn?
what do they call it? Dish
Soap.
Dish soap.
Something like that.
Fairy's probably our market leader, isn't it? The other thing that people get very cross with us about, because we are a sustainable business, is using biological things. I agree, I'm with you all the way. We're on a cleft stick. We haven't found a non-biological liquid or method of cleaning really dirty things that will get them clean. So the alternative is to throw the item away. So which is worse? And I think with all these sort of choices we have in life about being as sustainable and eco as we can be, it's the least worst choice that you're making, not the best sometimes. So we'll still get all the comments, but anyway, I'm now going to rinse with cold water. Definitely don't use fabric softener, and don't use a liquid detergent that has got softener built in. Some people do, but I like to feel the crispness of the silk twill, and you'll lose that if you use softener. So that one's ready. Just squeezing it, not wringing it. Get this one rinsed off as well. Now our most pristine Hermès scarves we sell for, if we get a brand new one in its original box and genuinely unworn, we sell those for £325, and they go right down to something that maybe they're all pristine, they're all absolutely clean, but if something's showing signs of age, it's got a few residual marks, it would be nearer this sort of, I think the cheapest we've sold is about 95. They're a fabulous scarf to hold their value, they really are. The second-hand market for them is very, very strong. Next thing that I do, squeeze the worst of the water out. Still quite wet, see, I haven't really gone at it with squeezing. Basically stack up the towels. Had a morning of scarf washing. This is the one I'm feeling the most pessimistic about. On first glance it's looking a lot better. No sign of any colour run, I'm pleased to say. I actually know as soon as it's happened usually. You can tell in the water. It suddenly goes a sort of horrible sort of florid colour and my heart sinks. But as I say, I haven't any alternative because dry cleaning. I've wasted money trying to dry clean scarves and I realised it doesn't work with oily stains. There we are. Roll them all up and give them a really good squeeze. Now I'm going to hang these up until they're still damp but dry, you know, on the way to being dry, and then I'll iron them on the wrong side, and I'll show you how we do that. Right, here we go. I'm feeling positive about this one. In fact, they've all looked like they've come quite clean. So I will iron a scarf on the wrong side and when it's still quite damp, and then I finish off the other side round the edges after I've done the back side. Now you have to be really, really careful to not go near your rolled edges with your iron, particularly with something that's really valuable like an Hermès, because you'll just devalue it. Nothing devalues a scarf like a flattened rolled edge. The reason I do the ironing on the wrong side is it can leave a bit of a sheen where the iron's been, which we don't want. Ironing beautifully. The iron is actually quite hot, believe it or not. And it's steaming because the scarf is damp, not because we've got it on the steam setting. Don't linger anywhere with your iron. Here we are. Oof, that is good. That was, remember the white marks along the top there? And there were also white marks along the bottom. They have completely gone. The small yellow marks was around there. That has gone, and there's no particular evidence of the others. Very, very faint. You wouldn't know it was there. Fantastic. I'm really thrilled with that. Really thrilled with that. I'm just going to quickly finish off around these edges, just very, very lightly, not going onto the edges. Just ironing the little bit right next to it. We sell all sorts of vintage silk scarves. We release them in collections every 3 weeks at the moment. Over the summer it might be every 2 weeks. They always have at least a dozen Hermès scarves in them, and then everything from Hermès right down to some little vintage older ones that will only be around the £25–30 mark. So if scarves is your thing, do have a look at our website. This one has come out really, really well. I was despairing about it because it had marks all around the edge. There's no evidence of any of them now. It's looking really, really good.